Sandro Tonali is admitted to betting on AC Milan to win football matches when he wasn't involved in the squad himself. It looks like he's going to be suspended for a year, or maybe it's a year suspended, I'm not too sure. This is all rumoured at point of recording, but this is going to throw Newcastle's plans for the season into disarray if Tonali is going to be banned for any length of time. It costs so much money in the transfer window, a huge part of their FFP allocation allotment, and a key player that's been a big part of a lot of the good stuff that's been happening at St James's Park domestically and in Europe. And it now becomes a question for Eddie Howe's men. Can they keep the pace of set? Can they continue to meet expectations domestically, try and stay in that top 4 hunt, and continue to exceed expectations when it comes to the Champions League? At any point in the video today, if you laugh, you learn, you like something or whatever, please do like and subscribe to the channel. We're pushing for 10,000 subscribers, and we cannot do that without your support, guys. So if you do enjoy the content here, hit the like button, hit subscribe for more content like this. And yeah, let's just get stuck straight into it. Now, a lot of the content I was producing here on the channel when it comes to Newcastle in the off-season, in the summer window, and then even early preparations into the season was, how good will Newcastle be without their best 11, without their key men involved? How will they cope with the mounting fixture list and the mounting pressure and expectation this season? And, you know, for the most part, I think they've answered a lot of great questions. Opening game of the season, 5-1 victory against Aston Villa was obviously amazing. You don't expect anything on paper when you walk into the matches against Man City, against Liverpool, but both of those games did feel at the time like opportunities missed. And again, losing to Brighton, making it 3 losses in a row, really did put the magnifying glass, put the pressure on Newcastle and Eddie Howe to start getting results. Champions League groups are getting drawn, transfer windows are closing, or have closed by the Brighton game especially. But it's in after that Brighton game is where I start to become really impressed with the squad overall. We see a lot of rotation for the Brentford match. At home, we get a result. We go away to the San Siro, a lot of rotation again, players brought back in that were rested for the weekend, and a draw in the San Siro. I did a video on the channel predicting how Newcastle would do in the group of death, and I did have these getting those points. Similarly to the 5-1 victory of Aston Villa, I don't think anyone could have really predicted the result, which was 8-0 against Sheffield. And again, not even what you would have thought is the full strength team. A lot of the squad players, a lot of the rotating faces in the squad making huge contributions in this match, which is one of the plum fixtures of the season, the team that should be finishing in the bottom 2 or 3, along with Burnley. But guys like Longstaff and Elliot Anderson in particular are making huge contributions and really lifting the level of themselves. Anthony Gordon, but for me, has been one of the absolute standouts of the season. Now, I hadn't seen much Anthony Gordon coming into this season, to be perfectly honest with you, but his season so far has been stellar. Now, these ratings out of 100 do a lot of his performances justice, but watching him, Anthony Gordon is absolutely, I'm a huge admirer, huge fan. I think the guy is electric, and I really can't wait to see him kick on, and I believe he is kicking on. But even looking here at the 4-1 victory of PSG at home, which must have been well jealous of you guys in St James's Park. That must have been some result, some atmosphere. And, you know, being a Celtic fan, you know, I grew up on stuff like that. So, well happy for you and well jealous. But again, a great result. We're seeing guys like Longstaff coming into this. And we're seeing Jamal Lascelles come into this game, who some people had written off pre-season that were talking to me in the comment section anyway. So, huge performance from a lot of players. Really iconic result there. And coming into this international window off the back of the 2-each draw with West Ham, it did really feel like the ship was really steadied. And, hey, we're managing to rotate players well, navigate the fixtures, get optimal performances out of the individual players when they're called upon from the bench, from the start, rotating in and out. But with Harvey Barnes injured as well now, when you look at the actual midfield roster for Newcastle and you take Tonali out of the equation, it's very, very threadbare. They're not going to have the same luxury of rotating, and I really do worry for the fixture congestion that's coming up. Newcastle are facing a game every 3 or 4 days all the way through until the next international break in 3 competitions, the Premier League, the Champions League and the EFL Cup. And then after that next international break, it's the run through Christmas where it'll be finishing up with Champions League, and then it is going to be relentless league competition. I'm pretty sure there might be some League Cup or FA Cup stuff that gets drawn in here as well, depending on what competitions Newcastle are in. But this December period here, when you finish up the Champions League group stage and you get into that Christmas window before the January transfer window, is an obscene amount of games that Newcastle are going to be playing over the next basically 2 months. It's a lot of matches. It's a lot of football to be played in a lot of different competitions. It's going to take a lot to go on. And for some of Newcastle's bigger players, obviously, they do have international football to contend with as well. So as much as I've been so impressed with the start Newcastle have made overall in this first kind of furlong of the season that we've experienced so far, this next stage between now and New Year essentially is going to be the biggest test yet. It's going to be really pushing to the limit, the squad, the tactical nous of the management team, and also a bit of the luck, a bit of the rub of the green, because it's just the way football goes overall. I really do hope Newcastle, I had them predicted to finish third in their Champions League group stage, but with them having 4 points out of 6 already, I'm going to say Newcastle finishing the top 2. Currently sitting in 8th in the league at the moment. It's hard to really look at all these fixtures and think that they can do so much better, that they would break into the top 4 over this period. And outside of that, it's really just hard to forecast where they could be. They could be 6th, they could be 5th, they could be 11th, because the league around this stage is so tight and so topsy-turvy. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. By the time we get to New Year, Christmas time, where should this Newcastle squad eventually find themselves in the league? And Champions League-wise, after the first 2 games, how do you feel? Will you get through to the Champions League knockout stages, or will you probably finish in 3rd or 4th? I don't know why I said probably, because I don't think you will. But yeah, let me know. On screen there now, some other stuff that I've made that YouTube thinks you might enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this one, guys. Stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one.